Welcome back to day 55. Today's pose is Eye of the Needle or reverse pigeon pose, or also known as Suchirandrasana. Suchirandrasana. So optional to have a chair, I'll show that version, and optional block and strap. And a blanket would be good too. So let's get started. Sitting up nice and tall, either on your chair or on the floor. Take your arms out to the side. Let's take a nice breath together, inhaling, palms overhead. Exhale, your arms wide and down. Watch your chair. Inhale, draw the palms overhead. And exhale, lowering. Let's add the head, raise and look up towards the hands. Exhale, lower your chin to your chest. Letting yourself arrive to your one pose practice today. Let everything else outside go. As you draw your palms overhead next, exhale, palms together and down. All right, let me demonstrate the seated version. There's also a reclined version using the chair. So Eye of the Needle has various versions for everyone. Remember, we like to support ourselves in these poses to allow your body to ease into the stretch without forcing it. So seated version, we're sitting up nice and tall at the front of your seat. We'll draw your right knee in and cross your ankle over your left knee. Now, keep that right foot flexed. Just helps give a little support to the leg and not hang out on those knee ligaments. Now, it's nice to warm up the knee so you can kind of warm it up, raising the knee and lowering it. Now, option here, if you can't bring that ankle onto the knee, you can cross that ankle over the opposite ankle, or you can use a block. You can bring the block just outside and try to allow that knee to release down. So it's a bit of a hip opener. So if it's just too high, your knee is way high and you're required to round your spine, then use the block or use the ankle right in place, one foot right in front of the opposite ankle. All right. So if we're able to bring that ankle onto the knee, keeping the foot flexed, then we elongate our spine. I use my hands on my chair seat and we think about, you might already be feeling a big stretch here across the outer hip extensors into the piriformis, or we start to let the chest float forward. So imagine like you're trying to peek out over your legs to see what's on the floor there, like you're trying to sneak up. Maybe there's a little creature on the floor, or like you're looking out over the Grand Canyon, but you want to be very careful near the edge. And we just start to allow ourselves to float forward. When you get really forward, you can bring your hands on that opposite thigh, keep the chest nice and open, and you can pause here and breathe into this. So that's the nice seated version. There is a way, let me demonstrate, to use the chair when you're on your back. So I like to demonstrate this because it's another way, it's nice and relaxing. You can stay here for a while, and it's just a really great hip opener. It's good to give it time to release. So you bring your legs onto the chair. Another option, you can have your feet on a wall. And align your knees with your hips and your ankles. Same idea, I draw my right knee in, cross that ankle over the left knee or thigh, and just gently let that knee release towards the chair seat. This is nice because it's relaxing, good for the spine. And then we start to slide the knees in towards your chest. So option here, keep your heel on the chair, which is nice. Again, a bit restful. We can wrap our hands around that left thigh. So it's like, think of the needle, you're threading the needle, right hand between the legs, and I draw my legs in a little bit closer. Now, if you can't reach it, you can certainly lift the head and the shoulders, but let the head come back down to your blanket so that we're not straining and hanging out, stressing the neck. And then we'll hold here for several breaths. Now, if we, without chair, sorry, I did a nice big circle there, didn't I? We're going to use our blanket and lay on our backs with the head resting on the blanket in a nice neutral position. So you can choose which option, maybe pause the video if you want to grab the chair, or we come down to the floor and we do the whole same sequence of events just on the floor. The block is here as an option where I can place it under the opposite foot. So in this case, it might be the left foot as I draw my right knee, my right ankle in, and we can pause here. So another nice gentle version to open up the hips. Now the strap is here in case I can't reach my thigh. I might want to thread my strap through the legs and use both hands on either end of the strap to pull the legs in towards my chest and my belly. So grab the props that you would like to try. Maybe pause the video and come back and let's set up. So here we are. Have your available props nearby. If you're sitting in the chair, sit forward in the chair. If we're on the back, ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders all aligned, feet on the mat. Let's draw that right knee in, flex the right foot, and then cross that right ankle over your left thigh or knee. Everyone doing the same. Unless you're in the chair, you can't reach, you can cross it over the front of that left ankle. Now let's all do a little bit of a butterfly action. You can hold that right knee or thigh or leg wherever you can reach and pull it gently in and out. If you're in the chair, you're kind of bringing it up and down. That just helps loosen up inside that hip joint to start. Then slowly let that knee press away from the body. Keep that right foot flexed. And then your choice, if you're using the block, bring it under the left foot. There's a nice position to start. Or lift the head and shoulders, wrap your hands around that left thigh or your strap. Start to draw the legs in towards the belly and chest. Allow the head to come back down to the floor, the blanket. If you're sitting in your chair, remember, keep your spine nice and elongated and you're drawing your chest towards your shin like you're peeking out over the legs. And we're just breathing here. Now notice if you're laying on your back, you might be drifting more onto the right hip. Can you level off across the back of your hips? Allow the shoulders to release back to the floor. Take a few more nice extended breaths, letting those exhales release out a little bit longer than your inhale. You can relax that left foot and left ankle. That leg doesn't need to do much. Keeping that right foot flexed. Notice where you're feeling that sensation of stretch outside your right hip, maybe into the lower part of your glute muscle. So again, this is a great one if your leg's on the chair, you can hold there. If you're using your foot on the wall, you can make it a little more restful as you allow your hips to open up. As you're holding poses, remember we like to hold static poses for about 8-10 rounds of breath. Allow the body to let go and release. It's good for static stretching, increasing flexibility. And then let's bring that left foot back to the floor. Uncross your right ankle and we'll bring that foot to the floor. So realign, setting up for the other side, draw your left knee in, cross that left ankle over your right thigh or knee. If you're sitting in that chair, you're sitting up nice and tall. Let's do the little butterfly action, grabbing that knee or your legs wherever you can. Draw the knee in and out. Just imagine nice and loose in that left hip. Then gently press the left thigh away from the body. Keep that left foot flexed. If you're sitting in your chair, sit up tall and allow that left knee to release towards the floor. And then you can start to bring the legs in towards the body. Gently tuck the chin into the chest. Wrap your hands around the right thigh or your strap. Use your strap. and bring the knees in towards the body. If you're in the chair, lead with the chest. You can keep your hands on the chair, spine nice and long. Breathe into that. If you're on the floor, notice if you're really rolling to the left hip, level out across the back of the hips. Let your shoulders release back to the floor. Keep the gaze slightly downward towards that right knee. Take your nice few extended breaths here, allowing those exhales to extend longer. Noticing this hip versus the right side. How does the left hip feel? Where are you feeling that sensation of stretch? If you're in your chair and you're leaning a lot more forward, you can bring your hands onto your right thigh to support the weight of the upper body. Keep the chest nice and open. Keep your gaze a little bit forward of your feet, just so you're not letting your head hang. We'll take a few more nice full breaths. We want to make sure we're even out across the left and right side of the body, not shortening it. And as you exhale next, let's release. Right foot back to the floor. Uncross that left ankle. Place that foot on the floor. If you're sitting in your chair, sit up nice and tall. If you're on the floor, let's roll to one side. Gently press yourself up. Find yourself a nice prop seated position. Sitting nice and tall. I hope that felt nice for your hips. Really great hip opener. So practice that. Hold your pose. Find what is a nice supported position using your props. And let's take our nice closing breath together. Arms out to the side. Taking our nice inhale, draw your palms overhead. Exhaling, palms together and down. I thank you all for joining this one pose practice today. I look forward to seeing you back tomorrow.